eventually something happens. When you get enough debt, something happens. You have lost your leverage as a country. And but for some reason, our leaders don't seem to be concerned about that.
Man, we're all military, previous military. We're all veterans here. What is your take on the military today versus then? I mean, you're looking at recruitment numbers being down. So you mentioned you listen to a lot of podcasts. I know we listen to a lot of the same ones. They talk about how recruitment numbers are so low, particularly that in like the soft communities, things like that, but just overall numbers.
I think the Marines are the only service that have met their recruiting numbers. Is that right? The Marines are the only ones that have actually hit their numbers and stayed there. The other three forces are not.
Takes a real man to
I've
be
been
a
Air
Marine, all I can tell you.
I've been out for 20 some odd years, so I can't speak too intelligently about what goes on, but I could say that I got a young son. My military service is probably one of the most proud things that I've done personally, without my family or any, just me personally.
As it should be.
I mean, it's my most proud thing. When I was in the military, I could shoulders back, chest out.
Right.
I'm in the Navy, woohoo, yay me. And I believe that. That was 20 years ago, prior to what's going on now. 20 years of GWAT. You've got guys going to the VA that don't enjoy it, that can't speak too highly of it. If you've ever called the VA and been on hold for 2 hours, and is that taking care of your veterans? So if you hear that story over and over and over and over again, why would you join? Then to be at the behest of the leadership starting wars in miscellaneous places for miscellaneous reasons that kind of look to me like it's just a more profiting situation versus for the cause. Like you look at World War II, that had good cause behind it, good reasons. There was 100%, and then maybe the beginning of our GWAT was meant for something, but for 20 years was it? I could see maybe that's why recruitment is down, but I don't know. Are we building less resilient humans? I don't know. I think I read 70% of high school age humans aren't physically fit enough to make pass the entrance exams. I think what I just recently read, it could have been more, it could have been less, but I believe that to be right on the percentage part.
Not only that, but physical standards.
Physical standards, meaning physical fitness. Most of them don't, but I read something the other day talking about the presidential fitness test you took in elementary school.
Remember it.
That Ike started that post-World War II, pre-Vietnam, because then they had 60% of high school graduates that didn't meet physical fitness standards. So it's not a new thing, it's not a new problem. I think, I think it's just as you get more comfortable, you get lazier, you get, more complacent, you don't care as much, and supporting our nation maybe isn't that important to anybody anymore. Do they support us or do they hold us down? Because I think we just had a good solid segment on saying that we're bitter. Why would you go serve those people that are making you bitter?
Yeah.
Any young human that I talk to now that's interested in joining the military, I challenge them to go spend some time at the VA. If you really want to join the military, go check out the VA, spend a day talking to some of our nation's greatest resource. I didn't say it. George Washington said it. A nation will be judged by how well it treats its veterans. Yeah. One of its greatest resources. I'm chopping up that quote a little bit, but
Probably.
neither here nor there. But
Why would you?
Yeah.
So because of that, I think that they're lowering standards, and I think if you continue to lower the standards, you're going to lower our efficacy to be able to win at all costs. And maybe not. Like I said, it's been 20 years. I've been out for a while.
I think there's something else going on top of that. I think I bet you guys are absolutely on the, boom, you hit the nail on the head. But there's something else that's happening. Say, I got out in 85. I went in on the tail of Vietnam. My drill instructors were hardcore Vietnam guys. So the military I was in it's a little different than where today's guys are. And so but it was a different time, and there was such a thing as patriotism. I'm gonna tell you what, when I was in school, we started our day off with a prayer, and we started our day off giving our recitation of the Pledge of Allegiance. And when I was really young, we actually sang the Star Spangled Banner as part of that process. And to this very day, when someone's carrying a flag, I still stand, salute, okay? And that's part of my culture. That's part of my civic DNA. Patriotism. I couldn't wait, guys. I couldn't wait for the Olympics so I could watch Americans kick Russia and China and every other nation out there that was there. We would literally stand around and count their awards, say, "Oh, America did it again." And we were proud, baby. We loved it. I hadn't watched the Olympics in decades. You know why? Because now it's all 50-50-50. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of stuff's ridiculous. They get up there, "Oh, we won." "Oh, but you know America's so bad." Well, you know what? They just put you on the podium. You're over there trying to do something athletically in the name of my country, and you want to dog my country? Are you out of your mind? And if we keep building young people with that attitude, who's going to want to fight for this country? We had a president not too long ago that was going around telling everybody how sorry we were for being America's. I don't know if y'all remember that. Y'all can look into history. You'll see who that was. Basically took a worldwide tour apologizing to the other nations. I'm going to tell you what, I'm not sorry. I'm proud to be American. Mm-hmm. But if we do not build people who are proud to be part of this great country, I didn't join the Marine Corps just for the fun of it. I thought the uniform was cool, yeah. Thought I might get some girls, but I fought it.
Nice uniform.
You know,
Best in service.
Yeah, one of the best.
I still got one, baby.
Not the Navy or the Army.
Yeah, blue and red
Can't
is just
stand them
blue,
belt
red, and
bottoms, bro.
gold is just it's a chick magnet, man. Can't help it. At least it was. I don't know what it is now, but it's really tough when you have colleges and leaders in this country telling our young people that America's bad, America's wrong. Men don't be men. You're toxic to our culture.
You're getting pretty
I'm
animated and
sorry.
fired up.
I hold me back. I'm sorry, Barry.
No, I love it.
I love my country, man.
Damn, chap.
I was willing to die for my country, as were you, and we have people who wouldn't step in the line of a fire out there trying to teach the next generation of warriors, if we need them, that this country isn't worth fighting for. Even with all the problems we just talked about, you know what? This country is worth fighting for.
I forget where the quote comes from. Again, I mean, you said it. You know, I'm a quote guy. All it takes for evil to thrive and exist is for good men to do nothing.
Yes.
If you have the ability to help, if you have the ability to serve, one of the things that's I feel is possibly demonize or downplay a service.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's service should be glorified, not downplayed.
Agreed.
We talked about servant leadership, but man, continuing to serve, you know, in whatever capacity you can, being able to help out, because everybody needs a helping hand, right?
There's no such thing as a man-made millionaire. It takes many, many people for you to be successful in life.
So, do you have any thoughts on that, Sam? Or
I don't think it's fair to generalize it through there's no patriots left. There are people that are still wanting to serve. And I believe there's a pendulum of power that swings. And I think it's gone so far one way that it's starting to come back to maybe center. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm naive. But I do believe there's still a lot of people that still love this great country of ours. I think that maybe the noise, the the social this, the social that, the interweb this, I think the ability to read, see, and watch everybody's terrible opinion of certain scenarios has made everybody think that the general, and I say everybody, I don't like generalities, but generally we all think the same thing. It's,
Yeah.
you're seeing so much negative that you think everybody thinks negatively. And I don't think that's entirely fair to the population that see that the loudest negative humans is how everybody feels. Because in the day-to-day life, do you meet a lot of people face to face that say negative things to you?
No.
Do you meet any? I bet nobody says anything negative to you.
I'd be scared to say something negative to him.
This guy's gonna hit me.
Yeah.
But I mean, face to face, person to person. Maybe that's just our great southern state of Texas that we feel that way here. But you know,
Yeah.
I rarely, if any, you know, I don't try to say I served in any of that. But I mean, I'm usually wearing an American flag, something. So people pick it up, or maybe they don't. But I always get you know, thank you. I always get something kind said to me. So
Yeah.
face to face, most people do the right thing. I think if you can get out there and post something without an audience and you're only looking at a screen, that's not real.
Right.
At least in my humble opinion, it's not real. So I don't want to be so general to say that every American's not a patriot anymore. I think most of us are. I think that we're just the silent majority that don't
Yeah.
blast it.
I agree.
You look at 9/11 and how the country was so unified, bringing everybody together. You know, we had a common enemy, and you made some very, very valid points, both of you guys. You know, and going back to our military and what it's involved in, you talked about, you know, GWAT, the Global War on Terror. One of the realizations I came to was that conflict. I had two 15-month deployments. A lot of my partners had multiple deployments. A lot of guys I served with. Man, I came to the realization when my son was 20, he was the same. It was still going on, but he was the same age I was when I deployed for the first time, right? And that in itself is an atrocity. Right, and then we move on from one conflict to the next, and that kind of brings me to our next point. You look at the stuff that's going on in Ukraine and Russia. You look at the stuff that's going on in Israel. We're just engaging in one military conflict after another. Do you think that's had what impact do you think that's had on recruitment, on military service? Things like that, because I can still be a patriot and not serve. Like, we're all dirty civilians
absolutely,
right
yeah.
now.
Right.
We're all civilians.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
We just had a common bond initially.
Yeah.
Right.
I just listened to this interview with Putin with Tucker Carlson. I think you talked about it earlier in the week, and I heard his history and his explanation of his issue with Ukraine and what they're doing. And the way he spoke about it, and his way of explaining it made pretty good sense to me. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I don't know. But he had mentioned, you know, the last 20 years of agreements made between him and NATO, him and some Minsk agreements made in 2014 that NATO lurched on. All these promises that were made, NATO didn't back it up. They said one thing and did another, and he lost his, and he went after it. Now he's still going after it, I think, 2 years later. Do I think that's right or wrong? I don't know. I don't think blowing up a hospital is ever right. So that's just my humble opinion. But do I think that the United States should be involved in it? I don't know. But I do know before we send $20 billion to Ukraine, maybe go to California, look at some of the homeless encampments that are going on, and dump some money into that. You know,
Amen.
spend $20 billion into that and see how that goes. Just try a little bit within our borders, because I mean, it's strange that you do so much for other countries, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't. But we need to put some attention into what we're doing here within the borders. It's just, you know, it looks wrong to me to see that going on there and then this going on here. And then you talk to any veteran that actually truly saw combat. I was on a boat in the Navy. I didn't see combat. It was during combat. But
Right.
again, I ate 3 squares a day. I slept in a bed. No bombs blew up over my head. I can't tell you I saw anything, but I can tell you I've met people that have. It changes a human. I can't see how you could say we stood behind them when we didn't stand behind them as a nation. So it's scary to me to say that we're over there popping into a new one. Israel, I think, is a little different. But Ukraine, I don't know that we should have anything to do with it. It's not really our issue. From what Mr. Putin said, it's been going on for 1,000 years. He started talking about in the 1300s when it started going on. That was a long time ago. So That's a different issue. That's not our issue.
Kids, do the math. $20 billion. I don't know what the total is up to now, but it's tremendous.
I quit watching it.
It
got
is
so depressing for me. I mean,
It is basically hundreds of thousands of dollars for every man, woman, and child in America. And if we can do that for a country that most people can't even point out on a map, we can do that for our own. We can do that for our country, for our economy.
yeah.
Right? I mean, why
I
not?
think so.
We have the ability to do it. It's
And-
proven.
And what we don't think about, and this is just Billy's economic thought, we are giving money away that we don't really even have. It's not that we're giving $20 billion here and there. We're giving $20 billion that we don't even have. It's not even real.
Creating it.
We're manufacturing debt. Well, eventually something happens. When you get enough debt, something happens. You have lost your leverage as a country. And but for some reason, our leaders don't seem to be concerned about that. I can tell you what I know. I know if I live on debt all the time, I won't have a house and a car at some point in time. If your business lives on debt all the time, you won't have a business for too long. So why does the country think or why do the leaders of our country, it's not we the people, but why do the leaders of this country feel so obligated to spend all this money that they don't really have? We spend $4 trillion on a budget of $2.4 trillion. That's America's current, that's what we do. I saw some numbers the other day. That's what we're doing. I'm going to tell you what, if I spend an extra $1,000 a month over what I brought in every month, I think I would be in trouble. So
It only lasts for so long.
I think we're on a trajectory fiscally. We're on a hurricane zone run. The hurricane's going to hit, and when it does, America could be in trouble.
Somebody's going to call and ask. Eventually, a debt collector does come and call him.
They do come.
They do.
And it's our kids and our grandkids that are going to pay it. We may at the same time. I don't know when this craziness is going to happen. But when the next stock market drop takes place, and it will, when all this real estate boom neutralizes itself, and it will. I've personally lived through 4 real estate blows. It always balances. It always comes back to neutral sometime. The problem is we're having to come back so much further now than we used to that it could be devastating to our country.
It's okay, man. We'll get another stimulus check. We're all proud to be Americans. We're all less than 1%. You may have never seen combat, brother, but you've been there, you've done that. You're less than the 1%, right? I mean,
That's right.
still. So more so, I would dare say I'm more proud to be Texan. And one of the things that set Texas apart. There's again, kids, read your history.
And that's why I got you sitting in front of the Texas flag, brother.
I like it. The border crisis right now. I have family members I have friends, family members that are associated with law enforcement. And, man, some of the stories that I hear, their work rotations. I have buddies that go down there, ex-military guys. Hoping to have one of them on this podcast. Go down there and they'll do work for farmers in that area. And we kind of tying back into that small business ownership. This is not Yellowstone. This is not John Dutton. Right? I love Yellowstone.
No, it's not.
But these guys that have these small farms that are down there, and all this traffic, this illegal traffic that's coming across. What what do you think about that whole situation down there?
I think it's ultimate chaos. But with saying that I think it's ultimate chaos, most of those people coming across that border are probably not bad people. And they're probably all coming here to work. They're probably all coming here to try to earn because their families can't live somewhere else. And because of that inability to earn somewhere else, they're coming here to earn. So I believe they're coming to what they believe to be the greatest nation there is, to earn more money, to earn more income, so their family can succeed. I don't really see it as all that bad. Maybe there needs to be some, absolutely there needs to be some checks and balances. I'm not saying there doesn't need to be. I think that they've got it in such a chaotic, how do you turn it back now? How do you stop it now? Keep building razor wire? I mean, these guys are willing to swim across it knowing there's razor wire floating out there. That shows some, would you swim across a river knowing there was razor wire out there? I wouldn't. I wouldn't even pretend to think about it. Like, no, I'm not getting out there. They're crazy. Those people are so wanting to get across that they're willing to sacrifice life, limb, and their children to do it, and they're doing it. There's a reason for it. What the reason is, I don't know. But I also don't know what corrects it. Just ultimately stopping it and preventing it from happening. Is that right? Is it? I don't know if it is or not.
I think we're at a point now. We're at a point of no return. Unfortunately, I think we're at I heard a statistic the other day. I too love my state of Texas. That's why I talk funny, because I'm a Texan. But I heard that the population shift demographically in Texas is so different today that even most Texans aren't Texans anymore.
No, most of them are from California.
They're either from somewhere in the north, or the far west, or the very, very, very far west.
And kids, I'm not shitting on that. Come to Texas. It's great. It really is.
But I still don't want to live anywhere else. I love the state. I still think we have a lot of things that are much better than a lot of other places to live in this country. So I love to find the problems and try to find some fixes, because I'm willing to be part of I want to be part of the fix. I really do. So how do we together, how do we find solutions, and then how do we participate in the corrections? I think that's the challenge today.
Well, one of the things, I just wanted to bring up this point. You look like you were getting ready to say something, but if you left a place because it was so bad, right? There's a reason for it, right? Don't bring those problems here, right? Everybody has their own, and we have more in common than we have. We need to get back to that commonality.
Right.
Right. That's what it's all about, right? We're worried about putting food on the table, the price of gas, good schools, crime, but it can't be so expensive that you're having to take up a corner or take up the pole. Right. I'm getting a little bit too old to be doing that type of stuff.
Right.
So I don't know how I would look in spandex, but hey man, we're all in this together, and I think that's what a lot of people forget. We're all in this together. One team, one fight.
Hey, division never grows anything.
That's it.
Division never grows anything. Multiplication does. Commonality is more like multiplication than division. When I was pastoring, we'd always say, okay, you get you get a little group built, and then you divide so you can go start two. And I said, no, that's the wrong word. That's the wrong word. We're not dividing anything. We're multiplying our success. And right now, we live in a time where I think division is at an all-time high in our environment out there.
I believe it's being indoctrinated into us. I don't believe we're all divided. I believe that we're being told that we're divided. And we're supposed to think divided thoughts and think that it's, I'll say, and I always said, and I say to my wife, I say to everybody, the only thing you're truly entitled to is your opinion. And here lately, you're getting attacked for your opinion, whether that be
Right.
if you're an atheist or you're religious. You're wrong. Like, well, maybe I'm wrong to you, but that doesn't make me any different than you. I just think that I believe a different belief system than you believe, or
Right.
he believes in. That doesn't separate us, but I think as soon as you attack that belief, you lose your objectivity to be able to talk about it. So you're everybody for what they believe and what they think. And I can assure you that you being a theologian that you are, there's only one person meant to judge.
That's
It ain't
absolutely
you,
right.
It's not me.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, one of the cool things about America is we have the right to speak our hearts, speak our minds. All right. Now, I think we got to be careful when what I want and believe, if it begins to intrude upon you, there's got to be give and take.
absolutely.
But at the end of the day, I'm all for robust conversation. All right. I love it. I love to hear your thoughts. We may not always agree, but I want to hear what you have to say. You might teach me something
Absolutely.
because your perspective may show me something I had never thought about.
Whenever you start forcing, process issues become relationship issues. And,
Yeah.
we're confusing that process issues and associating that with that person, right? Your belief system, that's the process issue. You may have a different set of beliefs, and that's okay, right?
Right.
50 states, right?
Yeah.
Not one, right?
Right.
United States of America. So, I mean, that's 50 different set of beliefs. And then you factor in all the people that have come over here, right? I mean, we were all immigrants at one time. We were all strangers in the land of Egypt, chap.
And
Yes, sir.
Look how we treated
Absolutely.
the native people to the land.
Right. Right. Well, I don't think we're going to fix all the problems today.
You don't think so?
But man, I could sit here for hours and
Absolutely.
just soapbox. Pastor Billy's got lots of soapboxes, but it probably isn't productive. But gosh, I think what we're trying to do on the Chaos Project is to allow people to come together, diverse thought, diverse looks, diverse attitudes about life. And we can do this. We can have robust conversation. We can get excited about life. But at the end of the day, if we can identify how we can be encouragers to one another, how we can help one another become better, how we can focus on the things that really are important, and to me that's family, number one, then all of us have the same problem. We want to feed our kids. We want them to get educated. We want them to have jobs. I mean, we have the same issues, that commonality you're talking about. Why don't we get back to learning how to love one another, which is biblical, by the way, and quit being so divisive in our culture and find ways to come together, not ways to separate? I think America might have some hope, man.
Amen.
I'm always hopeful. Do you have any final thoughts before we start closing this out? And you shared that quote with me about opportunity.
I was about to say it. Andrew Jackson, the only thing you can give a man without hurting him is opportunity. And anything you do give a man cheapens him. So,
Amen. I like it.
do better.
Do
If
better.
you fail today, try again tomorrow.
Man, let's cut it out there. That's a high note.
I like it.
All right. Hey, everybody, it's been fun. It's been great. This has definitely been an energetic, robust conversation, I do believe. We would love to hear your comments. We want you to subscribe to what we're doing because we have just warmed up. And if there's something that you're scared to talk about but you'd like us to, we're not. We'd be happy to talk about it. Send us some emails. Send us a post. I don't care how it gets to us, but get it to us. Bear, it's been a pleasure.
It has been a pleasure. One more shameless plug, Sam. Bro, if you're in the Houston area and you need some construction done, man, my good friend and buddy, my brother,
Yep.
Sam BMF Jones.
We have a website. Outside of that, I don't have a social anything. So you can find me on the website. My email address is on there. My phone number's on there. But yeah, I can tell you I have a social. I don't.
And again,
I
what
don't
was the
have a
company?
platform.
What was the company called?
Stone Castle Constructors.
All right.
All right.
All right. Catch you all on the flip side. Appreciate you guys.
See you guys later.